Well, good morning. Bobby Lee here with Hurricane Creek Farms. Getting a little bit of a late start today. We took the kids to school, wife's out of town, so took care of those animals before I take care of these animals, the horses and whatnot. But we're gonna get some stuff done. Continuing to ride that weather roller coaster. A week ago today, we woke up and it was in like the upper 20s. Then all weekend, our lows, get them fed. Kind of a two-handed job. Have to have many talents to be able to film and farm. But I just need a third arm. But yeah, and then so we went from lows in the 20s to lows like right at 60 all weekend to about 40 this morning. Had a line of storms move through yesterday, brought a little cold front, or vice versa. The cold front brought the storms, whatever. We got about 7/10 of an inch, so pretty good rain. That was timely on that ryegrass we broadcast over the weekend, but get the horses up, get them fed, and then get some other stuff done. Horses and ponies all fed. So now it's off to do some herd checks on the cows. Something just a bit comical as I pull up here this morning. They never flip these troughs over, except when they do, I guess. But full disclosure, a little confession, I did not check this group yesterday. Normally I check them. I rarely miss a day. And I imagine they maybe came up here yesterday morning, stood around, got ticked off because I wasn't showing up, and in the rebellious, tantrum, they flipped the troughs over. So it's actually kind of nice because with that rain, even though these got little drain holes in them, a lot of times they'll hold a little water. But yeah, it looks like we had some turkeys up here picking around at some of the crumbs, which is fine with me. We enjoy the wildlife. But we'll see if we can get them to come up here today and get a bite so we can check everybody. All right, so those two there make 28. Means I'm missing 9. I know there's some over here down the hill. I can hear them. Let's take a look and see if we can account for everyone. There's 29 and 30. 233. So we're still 4 short. Yeah, I'm hoping their rebellious nature yesterday, in reaction to me not feeding them, was limited to them flipping these bunks over, but need to make sure nobody decided they were just gonna jump the fence and run away. Well, hello ladies. There's clearly 2 more. That still leaves us 2 short. And we may be out of luck getting a good head count on everyone today because if for whatever reason they took off from the feed bunks, I guess once they got that cleaned up back down here. I don't know. Cooler weather, see some of them were jumping and bucking and kicking. And I hate this because again, we didn't get back here and check them yesterday. So now it will have been, by the time I get back here again tomorrow, it will have been just another day that we haven't accounted for everybody. So, but we got a lot of other stuff to get done, and it just may not work out this morning. Something else I did this morning after I dropped the kids off before I started filming, went back to the feed store. It's like 3 trips to the feed store in the last 4 or 5 days, and I believe Archie just caught his head on the receiver hitch there. How'd that feel, buddy? But I got to reading, and I guess, I don't know, we're getting a little nervous or anxious, is the hay gonna last, and whatnot. And we've got a lot of this forage stockpile, but a lot of it is warm season grasses. And most of what we think of with stockpiling grass to graze, this time of year going to the winter months is, like fescue, maybe orchard grass, things like that, clovers. And we've got primarily a lot of warm season grasses that are all, of course, just dead grass out there right now. And I found a pretty good article actually from UT Extension. It was actually, made me feel a little better talking about stockpiling even some of those type warm season grasses, and still have pretty good feed value. But yeah, I got to thinking, it's basically, it's not too different than hay, it's dead grass. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some protein tubs out where We've got our big groups grazing. Yeah, the wean calves and a few cows here at home, and then put one out down there on the other farm with the main herd of mama cows. So just trying to stretch that grass along as far as we can before we get into actually having to feed hay. So take that back there. You know, we supplement mainly with the liquid protein feed and the liquid feeder once they're feeding hay, which of course when we're feeding hay, they're right here. Whereas right now they're kind of scattered out and we're rotating around on different pastures. So the tubs are just a little more convenient when we're moving them that much. It's almost 10:30, it's still a little chilly, especially riding around like side by side. So we have had it. There had been 5 calves, I don't know if you can really see, this fence right here, that were over in the other pasture. Now it looks like there's 7. This little fat guy right here is where he's supposed to be if the others are not. So, I don't know, they're finding a bad spot in these cross fences and getting over there. So, I'd like to get them back in here, but not the end of the world. We were, again, talking about stockpiling. Just going to try to hold everybody off those next pastures as long as we could, but not too big of a deal. We'll get everybody else counted. Got that tub to put out, which those over there, they're not gonna have a protein tub available to them, so they are gonna miss out in that regard. Still looking for 19 more, which I guess there's one there. There's a bunch across the creek, which the creek just kind of makes it a pain in the butt in this pasture because there's nowhere to cross it other than on foot, and even on foot, there's nowhere really to cross it without you need some knee boots. Yeah, if I was really feeling froggy, no pun intended, I would jump. But yeah, that's a recipe for getting a wet foot, or even worse, wet entire body if I bust my butt. Might make for good content. So see if we can call those ladies across over here and put this tub out. Watch out, Archie. This would crush you. Get back, dude. This will hurt you. Ooh, I think it hurt me. So we finally just had to drive around and come in, but there are the other 18. So at least here at home, everybody's accounted for. We just got those 2 cows on the other farm that we didn't see today. And it's gonna be that much more important to see them tomorrow. But yeah, they were content just to stay over here, which it does feel really nice out here in the sun, just laying around chewing their cud. But all the cattle checked. Now another project that we got to get done today. Out here in this biggest bottom, you can obviously see all this brown, dead, warm season grass. And it's like just every day it gets a little more green out here as this fescue, which as you can see right here, a lot of clover as well. It's starting to really pop up and come up through that warm season. Kind of variety of grasses that came up. We planted this in the fescue orchard grass clover a year ago. Had good graze in the spring on it. When we do like these warm seasons that kind of came up, you know, just from volunteer nature or just from some other grasses that I'm out here, because that kind of bridged that gap, you know, through the summer when the warm seasons or the cool seasons aren't really doing much. But yeah, you go back about a month ago and it looked like, man, I don't know if there's any fescue in here. But yeah, now that all that warm season is dead and not competing, it's every day it just gets a little greener out here as it comes on. And so yeah, we got all those in that pasture we were just in. You know, just trying to hold them out of here as long as we can. And then we'll let them in here in these next couple of creek bottoms to graze. Yeah, actually, I hadn't even paid attention to how good the clover looks in here. It really does. Yeah, our other pasture over there, it's kind of more primarily warm seasons, and they had grazed it pretty hard before we moved them back there. So I don't know, May can get a few more days of grazing in there. But for the most part, they're gonna have, right here at home, they're gonna have where they are now in these creek bottoms, and then we'll be feeding hay at some point. For our next task, one of the big things on my to-do list for today, maybe not quite so much farm related, but you notice the chainsaws probably when we were unloading that protein tub. And I think I mentioned the last video, getting ready to go out of town. So we're going to eastern Montana, do some mule deer hunting. We're gonna be kind of camping in the back country, more or less. Not super back country, I don't think, but you need some firewood. And so I knew this red oak had fallen a month or two ago. And so we're gonna get it cut up and or some of it cut up. We're not cutting up the entire thing, and start making some plans for that trip. All right, so we cut up a good bit. I mean, we could clearly cut up a whole lot more. We could cut up more firewood than we could even take with us if we wanted to. We're gonna take that back up to the barn, start splitting it, and see if it looks like it's gonna be enough. So now, getting this wood into small enough pieces to use. I've never done this type of camping, but got canvas wall tents with little camp stoves inside. My buddy was telling me that the pieces of wood can only be a maximum about 16 inches long and about 4 inches in diameter. So we obviously got to split this down. I think most of them we cut short enough. That one might be one of the longer ones right there. It's gonna be right at 16 inches. Most of those are these, yeah, they're well under. But start splitting her up. Yeah, I got this apparatus. And we just got a splitting axe too. So we'll see how it goes. Gonna get my my farm workout in a little different manner today than what we typically do. There we go. Getting somewhere now. So my early impression of this thing was it wasn't any good, but I think I'm kind of figuring it out. It's using the back side of that axe. I don't know if that's completely appropriate, but give it a good whop. And splits are pretty good. It feeds right on the 4 inches. That's actually a little less than 3, so we should be good. We just got, looks like an hour or two of this to get it all done. We're about to take a break. I don't know how much wood entirely we're going to need, but my buddy Lee is going to be over here. We're actually going to shoot rifles this afternoon and get his opinion, and if he feels like we have more than enough, I'm probably going to save myself the extra workout because I don't know that I'm going to be able to get out of bed tomorrow. Well, I ran into a little problem, or thought of a little problem, and I actually have to give my dad credit. He brought it up to me a day or two ago, and I kind of, I guess you'd say, blew it off. But short of it is, we're not going to be taking that wood with us on the hunt. It really kind of hit me. I thought more about it as I was splitting some of that, and you know, there were ants or termites or something, maybe all the above. I thought, you know, that is a good point. There are bugs in this wood, some of it. This isn't like infested, not that I can see, but you're not supposed to cross state lines with wood. Specifically, I'm sure going into certain areas where they're free of, you know, some of the invasive pests that we may have. It's just not worth the risk of potentially doing that. So we will buy our firewood when we get there. So apparently had a morning workout just for the sake of having a morning workout. We will be able to use this. We got a little fire pit on the back porch. We'll use it this winter. But yeah, the little morning workout just for the fun of it. Well, what did I just run over in my driveway? Maybe if I can quit recording and focus more on driving. There's just a log. It's like, that wasn't an animal, was it? Ah, that ain't great though. Always something. So yeah, that dead tree there is on the fence. Well, not gonna be a terrible fix, but also, like, I don't know when I'm gonna fix it, because headed to work now and gotta work again tomorrow. We're headed out of town early Saturday morning. It's probably gonna be Sunday afternoon before I get that fixed. Good news, it's really not in a bad spot. The horses are in that pasture. I don't think they can just absolutely walk out. But all that said, good morning. I was gonna say, yeah, do get a chance to say good morning to you. I had a kind of an old man moment yesterday, which I had woken up with indigestion, didn't feel great. Then we got to chopping all that wood, and I knew I was gonna feel that later. And I got done doing that. I just felt terrible. I didn't do much of anything else yesterday afternoon. I was just worn out, and I did go into town and vote. I hope everybody's had a chance to do that. Early voted. Not a lot on our ballot right here where I live in our county. I think our governor is running basically unopposed. I mean, there's some people running against him, but he hasn't even really campaigned. For Congress, we do. That was maybe the one race that is, you know, contested. But anyway, hope everybody does take the time to do that. So now, I'm obviously headed into work, but we're going to swing by, check on the cow herd down the road, take them some feed like we do every morning, and hopefully find those two that we didn't see yesterday. We've got at least a few of them up here. Morning, babies. You know, want something to eat? Yeah, we'll see if we can identify all of them today. So clearly not all of them up here yet. And what's worrying me is one of the ones that I know we were missing yesterday, Woolly Bear. She was one of the cows that we had, you know, raised as a bottle calf. Actually, I think I see her there now. Yeah, there she is. Okay. That makes me feel better. I'm like, golly, if I don't see her again today, I'm really gonna be worried. That's also really out of character for her. Obviously, having been bottle raised, she's super gentle, usually one of the most aggressive ones coming up to feed, but she must just been off somewhere yesterday, foraging for acorns or something. But okay, now it's starting to look like we got everybody, so we'll get a count on them. 2, 4, 36. So, is there going to be one more come straggling up? We'll see. We'll count again, see if we've missed somebody too, but we'll know here in just a minute or two. Apparently I just miscounted the first time because I've now counted 37 like 3 times in a row. So I just missed somebody that first time through. They are all here. That makes for a good morning. With the exception of finding a bad spot on the fence there at home, almost by accident. And I forgot my coffee. I never forget my coffee. But I did this morning. But I'm actually, now that they cooperated, running just a minute or two ahead of schedule. So I think I've got time to swing back home and grab that coffee cup. Like most offices, we have our coffee maker. Actually, a couple of them make coffee, but coffee we have at work, it's not my Black Rifle coffee. It's not as good as what I make at home. So too, just the fact that I poured it in my to-go cup and left it sitting there is such a waste. So we're gonna swing back by there and go work on some dogs and kitty cats for the rest of the day. But yeah, I gotta travel this weekend for softball tournament and a wedding we're going to out of town. So I'm hoping, kind of expecting we'll get up fairly early Sunday morning, get her to ride back home. As the married men out there know, it's not always totally my decision when it comes to family travel plans, but I hope to get home in time Sunday to attack some of those jobs, because then I'm going to on our big trip out of town next week for that hunt. So gotta do some more pasture shuffling around between now and then, specifically with this group, just to make it a little easier for them to be watched after while we're gone, and fix that fence. I don't know, tying up some loose ends like that. But yeah, appreciate y'all watching. This was kind of, I don't know, I don't ever know what all's in it until I get to editing, but yeah, I planned on getting a few more things done yesterday. Like I say, just getting old sucks. I think that's the most old man, like, feeling bad day I could have, with indigestion and then just being sore, achy, and worn out from swinging an axe for like 45 minutes. But anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Please come back, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, do that now. But y'all eat beef and God bless.